up, everybody, and welcome back to another great show here at Talk is Cheap. My name is Giovanni Mentor, and we have Mr. Kyle Schillerford to my left. We have Mr. Ludolph McLaughlin here, and we have a very, very special guest. We have Mr. Lorenzo Wilkins with us tonight. Welcome to the show, Lorenzo.
Happy to be here.
All right, guys. So let me tell you a little bit about Lorenzo. Lorenzo graduated from Northern Nash High School from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. He is a freshman here at St. Thomas University, majoring in sports administration. He is also a member of the men's basketball team. So the team has done a great job this year, and we're happy to have you on the show.
I appreciate it. Hope to give you guys a few lessons in sports.
All right. Oh, he's going to give us some lessons. All right. Pretty confident.
If you watch the track record of Talk is Cheap, I stick a fork in every guest that came here. From Kamal all the way to Trevor. So don't get on my bad side.
I look forward to the challenge.
All right. All right, guys, so we're going to move into hot topic number one now. Before we get into it, now we know LeBron James, great athlete. He's proven time and time again that he can score, and even with that 61-game performance that he showed that he can potentially be that MVP player. But now we need to look more into Kevin Durant. He's proven time and time again that he can be that clutch factor, winning the games. He's been consistent. He's been fearless and tough-minded. And that brings us to our hot topic. Is the MVP sealed for Kevin Durant? Ludolph, we're going to start off with you first. What do you think about this?
Take your time.
I'm going to say that KD has had a very good season. He's put up good stats. He's made game winners. He's done everything for the team. He's been there even though Westbrook's been out. He's still there. So I'm going to say, as of right now, the MVP is going to go to KD.
Interesting. Hold on, Kyle. We're going to get to you in a minute. Let's go to Mr. Lorenzo. What do you think about this situation?
I definitely have to agree that Kevin Durant is the MVP this season. This is a guy who said he's tired of being second, and his play has definitely backed up what he has said. He's averaging 32 points, about 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, while shooting 50-40-90. So he definitely did it all, and he did it without Westbrook. And that's another thing to say.
Ooh, okay, I like this.
Well, before I continue with my say, I'm not going to be hard on you, Lorenzo, seeing that you have some mind, some knowledge on basketball. And Durant do deserve the title. Mr. LeBron here agrees with me now, finally, after 2 weeks.
I never said he wasn't the MVP. I said he wasn't the best basketball.
Oh, come on.
He's the most valuable.
Let's not even get into that fight.
KD does deserve it. 32 points per game, just like Lorenzo said. Averaging 7 rebounds, or 8. 6 assists, shooting over 50%. What more can you ask for Kevin Durant, who has done it with and without Westbrook? So that's even harder to do. And LeBron right now is a little shaky. After the 61-point game against Charlotte, he's been a little inconsistent, with some scoring late in the fourth quarter, as you know. So it is sealed. Put it in the glad bag right now for Kevin Durant.
Put it in the glad bag.
Come on.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle. All right, guys. Well, this is very interesting. I guess we all have come to agreement that we see KD as being titled the MVP for this year. But even with that, I mean, when we look at what Kevin Durant has brought to OKC, we see that he's helped, regardless of injuries from Cephalosha, from Westbrook, and from Perkins, he's proven to still carry the team. He's helped bring along and nurture young players such as Jackson, Perry Jones, and Lamb, which is, of course, tough to do as the player that he is. He's also incorporated Caron Butler and Derek Fisher into the lineup, into the offensive play. And besides just being the MVP, that's a big title. But is Kevin Durant now, I guess, can we say, the best player in the league? That's the question that I want to ask today.
And like I always say, he is the best player.
The best player in the league today.
Well, as in career-wise or this season?
I'm saying this season.
Yes, he is the best player today. Why? Because he's averaging 32 points per game and shooting over 50%. The only person to do that was Michael Jordan. LeBron didn't do that. He came close, came probably about 0.3 close back when he was with Cleveland. But he's the best player because why? He's clutch, especially in the fourth quarter. He's averaging 8 rebounds per game, 6 assists, 1.4 steals. He's doing it all for his team and without Westbrook sometimes. So come on, he got to be the best player overall. That's a complete guy that you want on your team. LeBron is showing that he has some flaws, especially in the fourth quarter. You know that, Rudolph. Kevin Durant never
There's no argument that LeBron does have his flaws sometime in the fourth quarter, but KD is not the best basketball player in the league. He's the MVP this year. He's been most valuable player to his team and to the league this year. But as far as the best basketball player, it's still LeBron. LeBron has post game. He has defense. He has offense. He has the whole package as far as passing, leadership. He gets his endorsements off the court. He's the face of the NBA. Everybody knows that. He's the face of his team. Everybody knows that. You know when LeBron plays, you know what he's gonna do. Everybody knows what he's gonna do.
Kevin Durant as well.
But there's things that you know that KD's not gonna do. KD's not gonna go into the post.
Yes, he does.
KD's not gonna guard all 5 positions.
He got a post move now. They call it the Dirk.
No,
He's been improving on that.
He's working on it. He's working on it. Just like you say, he's working on it. LeBron's already there. He's done it for years and years. He has the experience. He's won rings.
but KD has a different game though. So you're gonna call KD out because he doesn't have a post move? Why don't you call LeBron out because he doesn't have a fourth quarter? What happened to that?
LeBron, I did call him out. I said we all know that LeBron has his troubles in the fourth quarter.
Okay, but you're trying to say because KD
has more things to work on than LeBron does. LeBron game is more complete.
Mr. Lorenzo, what do you think about this scenario?
As much of a critic of LeBron James I am, he is the best player in the league. But considering that there's 1A and 1B. 1A is LeBron James, 1B is Kevin Durant. They're right there.
Yes.
But I will agree that LeBron James is the best player in the league. And until Kevin Durant has done so, where he separated himself from LeBron James to a point where he can be claimed as the best player in the league, he has not done so. When you think about LeBron James, he offers everything to the table. They're the Heat. Everybody gives him their best game. He has to deal with that. He has to deal with injuries. Okay.
It's okay. What can Kevin Durant do to be the best player in this season? Because we're talking about this season. Because what I think y'all are using is LeBron's career and what he's been doing. Right. KD is his 5th season? You cannot bring that in for KD right now. So we're talking about this season and what Kevin Durant has brought to the league.
I think what you're looking at is just more of the stats thing. We're talking about how he plays on the court.
Kevin Durant too.
Kevin Durant is great on the court. We're not saying that he's not great on the court, but when LeBron's on the court, it's still another level that KD has not yet reached.
I'm gonna
Even
be honest
when he struggles,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
LeBron's still having a great game.
No, wrong.
He had 17, 10, and 10 in
Okay. Let me tell you this, right? This season, I've been hearing LeBron this and this in the fourth quarter. LeBron not coming up clutch. LeBron starting hot, not being able to finish. I never heard that about Durant. Durant is the most consistent player in the league right now. Regardless of his stats, efficiency, it's anything. So I want to know what is Kevin Durant not doing.
He still has to work on his game. He still has to work on his game. He has to get more post moves, become a better passer, better ball handler.
We'll work on this.
He don't need a post.
We'll work on this. Okay.
Does Duncan need a 3? No.
All right, so we'll work. All right, guys, so moving on into hot topic number 2. With less than a month remaining in the 2013-14 NBA regular season, there's much to be decided. Of course, we've talked about KD and LeBron, who's going to win the MVP race, and we do see the Antonio Spurs appearing to be cruising towards the league's best record if they lock it up and if they hopefully make it to the finals this far. Beyond that, there's more questions to be asked and more things to be seen, but we need to look, if the playoffs started today, what teams would be in that final lineup. So we have the lineup for you right here, so I'm going to just give you a quick overview. For the East Conference, we have Indiana versus Atlanta, we'd have Miami versus Charlotte, we have Toronto versus Washington, and we'd have Chicago versus Brooklyn. And from the Western Conference, we'd have San Antonio Spurs versus Dallas, we'd have OKC versus Phoenix, Los Angeles versus Golden State, and Houston versus Portland. Now, with that being said, here's the hot topic. Which top 4 seed in the West and the East are most likely to get upset? Lorenzo, we're going to start that off with you first, and what do you have for me?
Well, I have to say in the West, I'll think of the 3-6 matchup between the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, and in the East, definitely the Chicago-Brooklyn matchup, 4-5.
Okay.
Okay.
Do off what you got.
For me, I kind of agree with him, but I'm gonna start off with the East. On the East, there's only 2 locks: Indiana and Atlanta. Indiana over Atlanta, Miami over Charlotte. But Toronto versus Washington, anybody can take that. Chicago versus Brooklyn, anybody can take that. In the West, yes, Clippers and Golden State, and also Houston and Portland. Both of those can go either way.
Okay. Kyle, what you got for me?
We're starting over in the East, like Rudolph said, the lock is for Indiana and Miami, and Chicago. So I think Chicago's going to lock that up. So they're not going to, have an upset because, they've been banging since last season, stopping Miami's streak last year, and knocking down Pacers, knocking down big teams this season without Derrick Rose and them. But an upset, I see Washington's going to upset Toronto Wild because you got John Wall and Bradley Beal. Marcin Gortat is back, so that's the only upset in the East. In the West, I have, like Lorenzo said, the number 6 seed, Golden State, defeated Los Angeles Clippers. I'm not a big believer of the Clippers no more. After 2 seasons, they got my hopes up, and now I'm just pissed at them now. And y'all might hate me for this, but I don't like them Spurs. I think the ship is gonna tank. And Dallas, Monte Ellis and Dirk is gonna try to have a good playoff run. So Dallas with the upset, Golden State with the upset, and Washington with the upset.
Okay, so we have some.
If it ended tonight, but
okay, guys. So I see you guys have some pretty similar, I guess, breakdown of who would get upset, but there's 2 teams, one from the East and the West, that I need a little bit more elaboration on. The first one is with the Chicago and Nets that you mentioned, Kyle, that it wouldn't be upset, I think you said.
Yeah.
And also with the Spurs and Maverick, I guess you're depleting what the Spurs have done this year. I mean, that's kind of upsetting if I was a Spurs fan. I'd be hurt. But I need you guys to elaborate a little bit more on those 2 teams for me. So, Kyle, you...
Well, with the Chicago-Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn is the 3rd best team in the East right now, right behind Indiana. The number 1 team to me is Miami. But Brooklyn, I'm sad to see them face the Bulls. If it ended tonight, it would be so sad to see Brooklyn face Chicago. I would have thought they would have been a 6th seed, almost 6th seed, and face Toronto. If they did face Toronto, they would have clearly took that game probably in 5 or 6. But facing Chicago, Noah, who's playing like a point guard and a big man, and you still got Boozer, Taj Gibson coming off the bench, DJ Augustine, come on. Jimmy Butler.
Okay, Kyle, here's where I'm going to have to school you.
School me. School him.
Okay, we're talking about Chicago, a team that's relying on DJ Augustine to average about 15 points a game, Mike Dunleavy to play well. We're relying on a lot of unreliable things. And then we have for the Brooklyn Nets, they have a lot of guys who are capable scorers. We have Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, hurt KG, but in the playoffs, you never know what could happen. Those guys, they have chemistry. They've been playing well. They've been playing the best basketball in the league since the new year has started.
Yeah, they have.
And
but they're an old team. And injuries are going to kick in. The experience is going to be still there. But you cannot be experienced if you're broken down.
My thing is this Chicago-Brooklyn thing. Chicago has this down pat. Brooklyn, this is going to be their first year together. They're going to be the thing. No one knows if Jason Kidd's a good coach. Chicago, they've been there before. They have
beat Brooklyn last year.
This is an automatic one. Wait, you saying Brooklyn is taking over Chicago, correct?
Yes. No. Chicago taking it over
Well,
Brooklyn.
Chicago's the higher seed.
That's why I say it's not going to be an upset. Y'all was calling it an upset. That's what I said.
I call it upset.
Yes, he called us upset.
Oh, well, I think Chicago easily takes that over.
Come on.
I don't think so.
Okay, but you got to think about the Spurs and Dallas. I had Phoenix in the 8th spot, but seeing Dallas is there now, I still think they can manage to sneak one out in 6 games.
They'll sneak 1 game.
No.
One game.
Okay, yes, I know the Spurs are the best team.
We're talking about a team that's won 17 straight games.
Yes, they have.
Dallas has a lot of problems.
But remember that time when the Spurs had that streak with 20-plus games going into the playoffs, and still in the playoffs, there was up.
They learned from that. They're not going to make that same mistake. They're not going to make that same mistake. They're not going to make that same mistake.
These are Tim Duncan's last years. Him and Popovich they've been hanging around. We got Ginobili still there. Parker's still there.
They haven't recovered from last year. They haven't. Okay, right now they're probably waking up from that coma. From that coma.
Well, they still have a month. They still have a month to get there. My thing. Let's talk about how Golden State and the Clippers. You all have Golden State over the Clippers.
Yeah.
Clippers. I have Golden State too, but my thing is, why you guys don't have Clippers?
Because once again, I'm not a big believer of the Clippers anymore after letdowns and letdowns and letdowns. But I have a sneaker for y'all, and that's Portland and Houston. I changed my decision over the break because I just realized Patrick Beverley is gone. So Jeremy Lin is going to start, but who's going to back him up? They brought up this guy named Kanan or something like that, Kanan, but come on. Portland right now, they got Lillard, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, Matthews, Nicholas Batum, who's shooting good. So that's an upset I forgot to mention.
I think Houston, if he had Beverly, still going to go down to Portland. Portland still has enough offensive firepower to keep up with Houston, and they'll make just enough plays to beat Houston.
That's what I said.
And telling off of what y'all said, I believe that Houston is definitely in trouble. They're relying on Dwight Howard, free throws. And they're a big three-point shooting team, isolation team. When it gets down to the playoff basketball, it's more about being able to run your sets and being able to have a reliable score. They're going to be in trouble.
Interesting. Okay, guys. Well, you guys heard the lineups here. You heard what our analysts had to say about the Eastern and Western Conference. And there's only one way to find out. May is coming up soon, so stay tuned, guys. Okay, guys, so we're swooping into hot topic number 3. And it's actually funny, Kyle, that you actually overturned your decision with Houston and Portland, and because we're going to talk about the Houston Rockets right now. And with that being said, the injury with Patrick Beverley, we're going to ask, is it crucial to the team and their playoff run? So the Rockets, of course, we know they have the offensive ability to run with teams that are high in the league, with or without Beverley, actually. And but the focus is, how is it going to affect their defense? Okay, and we do see that Beverley does bring a big impact to the team. His defensive momentum, he brings that frustration to the offense when it's coming to them. So, hot topic number 3: how crucial will Patrick Beverley injury be to the Rockets' playoff run? So, Rudolph, we'll start this off with you.
I think that every team does need that scrappy player that's going to get loose balls, get in other people's faces, try to make the game harder than it really is for the other team. But I think Beverley, he is that headache, but he's not a big enough headache to really impact the game. I think Beverley playing or Beverley not playing is not going to make that much impact on where Houston is.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about, and which Beverly he's talking about. He said it's Patrick Beverly.
He's talking about Beverly Hills.
Not Charles Beverly, or Beverly Hills, but yo, Beverly right now is the number 1 point guard on the Rockets. He doesn't score as much as Jeremy Lin, but what he does on the defensive end is what Harden does on the offensive end. To me, yes, he is, because he's gonna eliminate a lot of point guards, or reduce or sustain a lot of point guards coming from the West, just like Tony Parker, Damian Lillard. You have Russell Westbrook or Stephen Curry. So he's gonna take those top scorers and neutralize them. Because Beverly is one of the best defenders as a point guard. He was averaging 9 points a game, with 2.7 assists, but they don't need that from him. They need that defensive pressure and to set the tone in games, especially for the playoffs. And it doesn't affect their standings right now because they're like 3.5 games above the 5th seed. But when they play that playoff against Damian Lillard, Lin is the worst defender to me. All he wants to do is score. So it does affect them heavily.
Okay.
I agree with Kyle. This is a big move. This is big against Houston. Talking about Beverly, he's big on defense. This guy picks up 94 feet. He's their emotional leader. And you talk about playoffs, it's going to be all about toughness. And this is a guy who we saw 2 weeks ago take Damian Lillard out the game, and they beat the Trailblazers. And we're looking forward to this. Definitely Beverly, this is going to be a big move. I didn't have Houston going far, but this definitely won't be enough. They won't be able to beat the Portland.
Yeah, the first round.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Nobody got them going as, but
Okay. Okay, fellas, so I'm listening here, and with Patrick Beverley, okay, so we're seeing that right now in the postseason, it's not going to be that crucial for the team right now. But if Houston was in the finals right now, would the absence of Beverley be crucial for them taking it to the finals?
Way more crucial, because if they go, actually not that crucial. Why?
Okay.
Because they'll probably be facing Miami or Pacers, and they don't have a top point guard to make some type of noise against the Miami Heat's defense or the Pacers defense. But the question should be the road to the finals and all those West point guards like Parker, Stephon Curry, Westbrook, so as Damian Lillard. So if that's the question, then them reaching to the finals won't happen. Because one, let's take away Beverley's defense. We're also taking out another point guard for the Rockets. If Lynn starts, who's there to back him up?
I do agree, as if they don't have another backup point guard and making Lynn have to start, that does make the team, that throws them off. As in, Lynn's best when he's coming off the bench and he could be scoring and doing whatever he wants. Now he has to be there, help Harden out in the assist department, do some ball handling. He has to be smarter. If he could be Lynn Sanity,
what happened to that?
Way
That's
back
extinct.
Way back then. But my thing is, Beverly's loss is not that big of a loss. Yes, he is a great defender, but he can easily, his defense is only on point guards. It's not like it's a much defense. And all those point guards from the West, they all can shoot. You can easily get rid of Beverley and run Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard off screens, and Beverley's impact is nowhere because he's going to be off screens and they're going to be wide open. He's a good on-ball defender, but he's too small to really have that impact defensively.
So you're telling me
easily neutralize him.
So you're telling me Beverly's not a huge loss because
you can neutralize him easily.
Okay, so take
he
out Beverly.
He doesn't really have any of him.
Okay, take out Beverly. Who does the Rockets have to back up Jimmy?
I just said they don't have another backup.
Okay, so that answers my question. It is crucial. It is crucial.
It's not that big of a deal. They can easily play Harden more minutes. They can easily play
in the playoffs.
They can do it. Parsons is also a good passer. They have other people to ball handle and set up.
But
it's not like Beverly really did anything on offense.
But that's what we're talking about, though. But that's what we're talking about. You put it in Lynn, right? Lynn doesn't play no defense. So who's going to make up for that? Harden does not play no defense.
I'm saying his defense is not that impactful.
He has the best defense on the team.
But it's not that great. It's not that great.
It's great for the Rockets.
If it's the best team, I mean, we're talking about affecting the Rockets themselves. We're not talking about overall. We're saying helping the Rockets.
And he's a pest to
if you lose your best defensive player,
look at Kevin.
They're not the best defensive.
He's not
their best defensive player is Dwight Howard.
Okay, other than Dwight,
Beverly can easily be neutralized.
Every player can be
neutralized. You won't even know he's missing. He can get his. He always gets himself kicked out the game, ejected with all his crazy.
Okay, Lance Steven did it. Okay, but look what Lance Steven did that.
But Stevenson had impact offense and defense.
Okay, but still though, you gotta understand as a point guard. Look, the Miami Heat don't need Chalmers that much, but he's still crucial if he's injured for the rest of the postseason. Am I correct?
They do need Chalmers.
Why?
They do need him
Why?
to stretch. They do need him to stretch the court.
Cole can do that.
And as someone to be there to just do some of the ball handling.
See, now you're making excuses now because Chalmers is crucial in his own way. Just like how
it's more impactful than Beverly.
No, it's not.
Beverly's is not that impactful. It's not that important.
Chalmers is not that crucial
because
why?
Or they won't go any less with Beverly playing or not.
But it's okay. But Chalmers with Beverly, come on. Chalmers with the Heat.
It's more of a loss with the Heat. Chalmers not playing for the Heat.
Well, I mean, the Heat
that's a lie right
now. The Heat has more star
players,
and even if they did lose Chalmers, I mean,
they need Chalmers. They need Chalmers to play at the level that he's playing for them to reach wherever they want to go.
Just like Beverly.
They cannot reach wherever they want to go without Chalmers playing.
Just like
good
Beverly.
basketball.
Just like
Beverly, he's not going to be there. He doesn't affect the game that much.
Okay,
if you lose your starting point guard, then I'm pretty sure that's going to affect.
He's starting.
You don't put a starting point guard and take them out and not break the team apart somehow.
But he's starting because Lynn plays better off the bench.
Okay.
Lynn is a better point
guard in the playoffs.
They're still in the playoffs.
Well,
they're probably a lower
seed. We'll save that for another discussion, and there might be a chance that Beverly might come back before they get into the finals. So, and it is time for the infamous Stat Cruncher, and this week Stat Cruncher is Houston Rockets' very own James Harden. On March 27th, the game against the 76ers, James Harden scored 26 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 31 minutes of play. He was 52% from the field, and of course they won that game 102 to 98. And
120.
120 to 98, which was a blowout. Okay, so guys, what do you have to say about this?
Well, it was a good performance. I would have appreciated it more if it was coming from a team other than the 76ers. But congratulations to the 76ers. But
Who did not break the record.
But back to James Harden, it was a good performance to see him put up a triple-double because I know he's not known to facilitate a lot and be the point guard for the Rockets. So it was good to see him getting double figures in assists, and I hope he can keep that up going into the playoffs.
I don't know about Harden not being a great facilitator, but it is impressive. He averages over 5 assists a year. But my thing is, it was very impressive as he did it in 3 quarters, 31 minutes, and in a blowout. So that I don't know if that's how good the Rockets are, or just how bad the Sixers are.
Well, this is a guy who's been playing really well. Houston's been playing pretty well lately, and with the Beverley injury, he's going to have to pick up the slack. So it's good to see that he's filling up the stat sheet as the season goes on. Hopefully, he can keep that going in the playoffs because they'll need it.
All right, and James Harden has been doing very well. We see that he's been somewhat consistent coming from last year to this year's season. Last year averaging 43% from the field, and this year bringing it up to 46%. So we do see an increase, and I think he will be an effective key player when they make it to the first seed game. So Houston Rockets, keep Harden strong and then keep moving forward. All right, it's time for give me some. So Kyle, I need you to go up first and give me some.
Well, my first give me some is going to be Gimme Some. Y'all know why. Batrick Beverley is
Rockets
out.
been getting it.
Patrick Beverley is out, so Gimme Some is going to have to do a lot of things. Number one, he got to be insanity. Back how he was with the Knicks. Number two, he got to step it up on the defensive end. He needs to be a little pest to those top point guards in the West, especially if he's going to start in the playoffs. So Gimme Some, he did have a decent game last time against Clippers. He played 32 minutes, 10 points, 1 for 9 from the field, but 8 for 8 from the free throw line. So Gimme Some, gimme Linsanity. Not give me some, gimme Linsanity.
Okay, Ludolph, give me some.
Okay, my give me some is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. If you're going to tank, at least tank and be the worst team in the league. They lost almost 27 straight games, and they're trying to tank, and they're not the worst. They don't have the worst record. The worst record right now is Milwaukee at 14-59. The Sixers at 16-57. Tank better. Philadelphia, give me some.
Okay, Mr. Lorenzo.
I'm going to have to say Darren Williams. If you're here listening to me, Darren Williams, I'm letting you know you have to step your game up. He's averaging about 15 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds a game, which is his lowest since his rookie year. And this is a guy who signed a max dollar contract 2 years ago, making $18.5 million this year. So Darren Williams, if you want to step it up, if you want to do good, you're going to have to step it up now. Give me some.
Woo! Give me some. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for those give me sums. All right, guys. Well, tonight was a very, very interesting show. We had some very good discussions, discussions between our analysts here. Thank you so much, Lorenzo, for coming on the show. All right.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
It was a pleasure having you. Appreciate it. All right, Kyle didn't stick a fork in you today, so you survived. You survived your first show with Talk is Cheap. Now, thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check us out on our YouTube page. Hit us up on Instagram, and also make sure to hit us with a tweet. And just remember, and always remember, that Talk is cheap. Have a good night.